showing you pretty much the entire area. PCT trail runs through through that area. Tons of other trails, lots of high mountain lakes, creeks, springs. I mean, you name it, it's up there. But yeah, so we are going to get up to that trailhead and go from there.
A few moments later.
Well, folks, this is why we ended up bringing Little Red. Tree down across the road. There's still been some snow, as you've already seen, but yeah, came around the corner, and this is what we got. And I didn't bring a chainsaw, which I typically will bring a small saw with me, but looks like this thing came down and broke just well enough. I think it's light enough that we can hook that winch right there up to it, pull it out of the way, and keep on cruising to the trailhead. Let's get this thing hooked up and moving. Well, that's working. The winch got it started. Now we got it in 4 low, and we were able to rip it around there. I think that's about as much as we're going to be able to get without hooking up a snatch block and everything, but we'll go clear some of these limbs and carry on our way. Well, folks, the adventure started with the car ride. We hit some snow patches about, I'd say quarter mile, third of a mile after we pulled that down tree out of the road so we could squeeze around. We just punched through a few snow drifts the first week of June up here, and the main road coming in just opened up, I believe, Memorial Day weekend, just before Memorial Day. But yeah, we punched through those. As you can hear, the runoff, there's plenty of water, but there's also still plenty of snow. The smaller drifts we were able to get through, but this one up here gets pretty big, and it's a bit off camber. It doesn't look like it from this angle in the camera, but a little off camber, and it's slushy. It's warm enough that it's soft. I can kind of walk on it, but with the Jeep it just sinks. And all right, so as we just saw, snow drifts we can't get through, so we decided to park Little Red here. I said I'd give an introduction, everybody. This is my 95 Jeep Wrangler, Little Red. Nothing super spectacular about her, other than she's taken us some awesome places and we've had tons of fun with her, but it's simple, pretty much stock, 2-inch lift. We got that Badlands Harbor Freight winch on front. I think that one's an 8,000 pound. I go out alone sometimes, which isn't the best idea, but I do, and knock on wood. I've only ever had to use that winch to get myself out one time. Otherwise it's pulling other people out, and and moving trees or boulders and stuff out of the road so we can continue on. So yeah, that's Little Red. You'll be seeing a lot of her during the summer because it gets me up into places like this where mini van doesn't go. We wouldn't have gotten this far. I would have hit that snow and maybe decided to go ahead and hike to the peak. Maybe not, because it's gonna be a bit of a trek now, but that's okay. We've got all day. It's 10 o'clock in the morning now. Like I said, we got a late start, but let's grab the trekking poles and get to going up the hill, up through all that snow. Just beautiful scenery up here. That back there, that is the Sierra Buttes. There's a old fire lookout up on top of that you can hike to. Right now we're just walking up this forestry road, excuse me. Does make for some easy hiking. Can move quick. There's a good example of how deep these drifts still are on the forestry roads. I'm down on the actual road, on the gravel. Excuse me. A fly just went down my throat. Oh, there it is. Oh my Lord. Okay, I'm better now. But yeah, this is about 4.5, 5 feet tall right here. And that's the way it's been. It just keeps on opening up where you hit the sun pockets, and it's perfect. And then you come around the corner into the shade, and 4 to 6 foot deep snowdrifts, as you can see behind me. Lots of blowdowns still too. That one's pretty substantial. I'd need my big chainsaw for that bad boy. The winch and the Jeep definitely are not gonna scoot that out of the way. You can see the snow plants starting to pop up. Got the Gaia out and on, and it looks like, hopefully you can see that, we're just about there. That pink line is the trail I went ahead and mapped out previously. We got a pretty good cruise going on. According to Gaia, we're averaging between 2.8 and 3 miles per hour, so not too bad. I turned on the Garmin as well and got it tracking so we know how much time it takes and the mileage we've done. But I started it a little late, about a mile in from where we left Little Red, so yeah, making pretty good progress, making good time. There are tons and tons of blowdowns though, all over the place. It was a pretty gnarly winter up here. Crazy high winds. I think at 2 of the storms we had back to back within a 2.5 week period were over 100-mile-an-hour winds up here, with gusts up to like 120, I believe they said. There's definitely signs of it. All right, folks, made it to the trailhead in exactly an hour and a half. Not too bad, considering, with the snow drifts and the blowdowns and everything, that slowed us down just a little bit. And I stopped a few times, get some footage for you. I'll take a few pictures and stuff. So I'm gonna shed these layers, get these pants off, because it is warming up quick. It's probably, I'm guessing it's in the low 70s right now. I think it's supposed to hit like 80 today, but even up here, but it's a nice breeze, just enough to keep it cool enough. But yeah, shed these layers and we're gonna get on up that trail. Oh, and since we started this, just under 2.5 miles to the trailhead, which means we were probably 3.25 from here back to the Jeep. And I am changed into my shorts. So let's turn and burn. Let's go. Getting part of the trail, a lot of snow runoff. So the trail's just a boggy mess. That's all right though. Because our feet are already a bit wet from all the snow we were crossing through, so no big deal. It's gonna make for a very nice lush climb though, with some greenery and lots of flowers and epic views. That's what we're going for. Epic views. A lot of red fir tops. See if we can't navigate through all this craziness here. I think we're just gonna skirt it little off trail down below it here. And much easier than climbing over all that junk. Definitely not a shortage of water. I brought 2 liters and always carry my filter. I think a liter would have been plenty because this is some really nice pristine water. Be easy to filter. But I'd always like to have more water than not enough. All right, well, I just stopped to pug some water and check on Gaia just to see how far we got. We're about 0.8 from the top, hitting the peak. Climbed some elevation. I forgot to mention at the bottom, when we hit the trailhead, according to the map plot I put on Gaia, it's 1.46 or 1.47 from the trailhead to the peak. Like I said, according to Gaia, and it was, I believe, 1,177 foot elevation gain, which we just hit the first real steep section. Look at that sky, some thunderheads. No rain in the forecast, but up here in the high country, you just never know. You can see all the snow down through there. This doesn't do it justice, but trust me, it's pretty steep. Here's the switchback we just came up. But yeah, anytime you're out, I highly recommend downloading some kind of GPS app, whether it's Gaia, Avenza Maps, Onyx. I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones out there. I prefer Gaia. I do use Avenza app. I don't pay for either one of them. I just use the free services on them. That's why I like the Avenza app, because it's really easy to plot your trails, find your trails, and you can plot your course, and it dials all your elevation gain and loss and mileage and all that, and then import it over to Gaia, because Gaia works offline. You don't have to download any offline maps. At least I haven't. I've been fine. But then again, this is all pretty much my backyard, so I know the area really well. I could get myself off this mountain and home, no problem. But yeah, you definitely want to take advantage of those. Like I said, you don't have to pay for all of them. You can use the free services that they offer, and just use a couple different ones and bounce back and forth and transfer one to the other, or whatever works out. It doesn't have to be costly. Just like anything else with getting out here, it doesn't have to be costly. You know, JanSport backpack, that's what I started out with back in the day. You know, I've been backpacking now. This is 30 years. Crazy, hard to imagine. 30 years of hiking and backpacking and just being out and about. Really kind of stupid that it took me this long to put YouTube videos out, stuff, and record things. I've always taken pictures, but here we are. We're doing it now. All right, let's hit it. Get back up to the top here. Or not back up to, but to the top. Perfect example here of why you want those offline maps. We just hit the trail section that is completely buried. I know which way, and we're not far, but yeah, looks like we're gonna be doing some shuffling through the snow drifts. First tracks too. See what I mean about the trail though? It popped out right there below us. Always got to keep your eyes peeled and check those maps if you need to. All right, looks like the last snowdrift here, and we are going right up there. That is the peak. The snow keeps giving. Every time you think it's gonna be it, we get into more. No problem. We're just about there though. Just up there between the trees. You can see the little rock stacking up there. That's the peak. That's the peak. Almost there. Just got to get through a few more snow drifts and another little boulder scramble. All right, let's go. There it is, folks. We are there. Well, about 10 yards from there. Oh my goodness, this is so epic. Woohoo! We made it! Yes! Yes! Yes, yes! We did it, y'all. This is, oh my God. This is absolutely amazing. So amazing. Not too bad either. 2 hours, 14 minutes, and 4 seconds. Just under 4¼ miles plus, well, we'll call it 5 miles because I started the thing 3/4 of the way through. About 3/4 of a mile. Burned 761 calories. Heart rate was 108 on average. Not bad at all. And like I said, my goodness, this view is absolutely just epic. I'm gonna drop pack, drink some water, just soak this in for a little bit. I got full service up here, so I'm gonna call Miss Meandering. She's on her lunch break right now, so maybe send her a picture. She'll probably like that. And then yeah, I'll bust out some lunch and eat and just enjoy this, just take it all in. I just am super thrilled. Hope you're all just as thrilled as I am. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than this, not to me anyway. All right, y'all, time to take it in, get some food. All right, on the menu today is original barbecue chicken creations, some apricots, cheese and peanut butter sandwich cookies, oatmeal raisin Cliff Bar, and always hydrating with Element. We got watermelon salt today. We did it, y'all. I am standing on top of the rock cairn that's been built here. That right there is the peak of it. That's the very top, and it's wobbly. I'm gonna turn this around and show you guys the view. You can kind of see back there behind me, but I'll give you the 360. There's the Sierra Buttes, and down in the distance there you can kind of see the road we came in on through the forest. The clouds in the sky are so amazing today. We came across all that snowpack and everything. Absolutely amazing. Trying to keep my footing here as we spin around. Turning and looking into the Sierra Valley. And then that little knob closest to us is where Calpine Fire Lookout is. I've stayed there many times. Highway 89 down there in the bottom, looking out towards Nevada. The hills in the distance anyway. Coming all the way back around. I think that's Eureka Peak over there in the distance. And all the way back around to the Sierra Buttes. All right, everybody. I got all full with that lunch. Ate every bit of it. Kind of walked around a little bit and just kind of checked out the scenery and listened to the noise. No noise. A few little birds chirping. Our raven buddy that came over and visited us, and there were actually 4 or 5 of them circling around. That was the only one that came up, landed in a tree though, and hung out for a minute. Said his hellos. But yeah, I just gonna grab this rock that I found here and add my bit to it. Make Haskell Peak just a little bit taller. Gonna get moseying on down back to Little Red. Pretty much the same way we came up here, so won't really film anything going down unless something really outstanding happens or we see some really cool critters or something. As for that, we're gonna turn and burn. And oh, my hand, I told you, it's gonna take me forever to get used to that and not sticking my stinking fingers in front of the camera. But anyway, y'all, we'll see you on the trail. Didn't realize I was gonna end up getting to do some skiing today. Just another addition to the adventure today. It's been a pretty good one, I must say. A little bit of extra work in the beginning getting here, but it was actually a lot of fun. I guess you can't really consider it work if you enjoy doing it and it's not the end of the day. That would have been a big bummer if things wouldn't have worked out, but it did. We just kept plugging away. All right, keep plugging away. Right on, right on, right on. We made it. There's Jeepy, Little Red, and we're gonna hit stop on the watch here. At 4 hours, 23 minutes, 24 minutes. Oop. Yeah. 1,400 calories, 109 average heart rate. .64 miles, which actually we're gonna add a half hour to that, and about a half mile, so a little over 10 miles. Not too bad. Pretty good day for coming out and thinking we were just gonna drive to the trailhead and meander up there and only spend like a couple hours, but that's good. We need the workout. We need the preparation. So, well, folks, I think that's going to conclude it for this episode of Meandering Outdoors. Really hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I know I did. That was a blast. I loved every minute of it. Even winching the tree out of the way and having to work a little bit harder to get up there, but hey, that's what life's about, right? Just want to say thank you to the handful of folks that have subscribed and joined us on this journey and helping us to build this community up and tagging along for these adventures. I love having the opportunity to bring y'all along, and like I said, you know, for those of you that can't get out there and do any of these epic adventures and have a tough time getting out there and meandering, you can do just a little bit. Go to the park for a little walk. You don't have to put in big miles. You don't have to work super hard. Just get out there and enjoy nature. Look at the greenery, look at the flowers, look at the insects, look at the small things. Slow down in this world of chaotic, fast-paced, everything's got to happen right now. Slow down. Enjoy it while you can. It doesn't last long. It goes so fast. But anyway, folks, really appreciate it. Get out there, meander when you can. We'll see you on the trail. Until the next time, folks, appreciate you. If you feel inclined, hit that subscribe button and we'll catch you on the next one.
1 hour later.
Well, y'all, got to jump on here one more time before we head out the day. I was cruising through Sierra City, ran into a couple gentlemen on the PCT, started down at the border, making their way up to Canada, doing the whole thing. Super awesome. Stuck their thumbs out as I went by. I couldn't leave them hanging. So this guy here, this dude here, from down under.
Yeah, from Australia.
Nice.
Thanks, mate.
No problem. No problem.
Not as cool, Pennsylvania, but still out here.
Right on, right on. Well, you guys, safe journeys.
Thanks so much.
Glad to give you a little bit of a break hiking up the highway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get ready for the climb before, just as the evening is starting to get nice and cooled off.
Yeah.
So
Cool off a little bit.
awesome. Great meeting you guys. You guys have safe journeys and
Thanks, man.